going to move to our startup competition. All judges who are not in the front row, please come to the front row. There's a couple more, I think, that are out there. Josh, when you get some water and you get a chance, come to the front row. Here they're coming. Great. And so everybody, yesterday we had the computer vision challenges, which was more very early stage researchers working on very deep technical computer vision challenges. And today is more a little bit later stage, but as far as the ecosystem, still very, very early stage startups that have raised less than $1.5 million. So we've got a mixture of judges, and you're all probably saying now, holy shit, there's a lot of us, and why do we need so many? Because usually it's 3 or 4. We like it because it's a much better data analysis of who's the best, because we can average all of your thoughts. The secondary goal, obviously, hey Steve, is that we're all looking for co-investment opportunities. So let's invest together on some of these companies, and they all want to speak to you. So on that note, we can see all of you there. I'm not going to go through everybody, but this is a great mixture yesterday and today of not only investors, at angel funds, at big funds, corporate execs that maybe are looking for M&A, reporters, Jessi and others. So this is our honor that you're all here. First up, it's going to be 4-minute sessions, presentations, 2-minute questions, and we're going to be very strict on time. And judges, you have a 1 to 5 rating there in the typical categories across. And we'll announce the winners at the end of the day, the winner at the end of the day who receives a $5,000 credit with AWS. With that, I am going to come over here. Who's first up? Destruct is up. Reconstruct. You have your all set? Yeah. Okay, come on up. Take it away.
I'm Hoiem with Reconstruct, and we bring vision to construction management. Master this thing. Okay. So there's a huge opportunity in construction. Over the past 30 years, while sectors like manufacturing have more than doubled in efficiency, productivity in construction has been flat. So this creates a huge innovation opportunity. In fact, just our first product has a $10 billion annual revenue opportunity. The problem in construction is that large projects average 20-month delays and 80% cost overruns. Mostly this is due to problems in planning and coordination. Studies show that better coordination could improve efficiency by 35%, where just a 5% improvement would double the profits of a contractor. A project may start with a great plan, but plans always change. This shows that a superintendent made many changes on this project and tried to communicate them by scribbling notes on the blueprint. Those changes are difficult to interpret, they're difficult to remember, and so the subcontractors forget the changes, they make mistakes, and that results in additional costs and delays. So to address these challenges, we've created a visual construction management platform that we offer as a web service. We use photos of the job site taken by drones or handheld cameras and 3D reconstruction algorithms to create 3D models of the current site. We align that with the 3D plans and the schedule. And then our platform improves coordination by providing a single interface where you can see the current state of the site, the 3D plans, and the schedule. Our platform also provides reports like at-risk location reports. By analyzing productivity, the current completion of tasks, and constraints in the schedule, an automatic algorithm can identify the locations that are most at risk for delay in the future, so that in coordination meetings, the planners can proactively prevent delays instead of reacting to them. We've completed a number of high-profile projects, including with the Sacramento Kings Stadium with Turner Construction. This one won the Turner Innovation Award, a prestigious award in the construction industry. Also, with Clark Construction, we're quantifying the benefits on the McCormick Place Hotel project. For example, here we show that the number of tasks that were delayed over a 6-week period of using our platform. The number of delayed tasks fell from 6 per week to 2 per week. There are a number of solutions out there for data capture like Skycatch and Kespri, for point cloud processing like Pix4D, and for scheduling like Autodesk and Bentley. But we provide the only integrated solution for planning and measuring progress. Our business plan is that we offer a software as a service web platform charging $6,000 to $8,000 per month per project. We need to first demonstrate within major construction companies that our platform can succeed with their workflows. Then we can expand to apply our platform to the dozens or hundreds of projects that are applicable within each of these companies. So over the past few years, we've conducted research developing patented technologies in the prototype with funding from NSF and University of Illinois. We founded the company this past December. Next month, we're planning to start 4 paid projects that will generate $20,000 per month of revenue. We anticipate $480,000 revenue by 2017, going up to $12 million by 2019 as we add new clients and new projects. We've assembled an awesome team of experts in computer vision, robotics, and importantly, construction management. And we're looking for new partners to aid in technical and business development. And so I invite you to join our vision to build better tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. Well done. Judges, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead. The mic's on.
Hi, I'll go first. This is a business which requires a very high-touch service element to it, given the nature of construction companies. How do you get to a point where this becomes less of a services business, but rather a true software, ready-to-use platform, so that you can scale more seamlessly?
That's a great question. And one of the first things that we realized when we started actually letting customers use our products is that the amount of overhead in terms of manually touching the software could be overwhelming. And so we're developing tools that allow the subcontractors and superintendents to directly use the software to do things like enter productivity information and to change plans and then see how that will affect the project development. And actually, that's what the construction companies want. They don't really want us doing things for them, which is what a lot of drone companies end up doing now. They want to actually interact with the software directly, make changes, and then see the effects of those changes, or to submit progress for billing and then get money from it.
Okay, next question. Yes, Dave. Pass the mic back, Vern. Thanks.
Currently, what is the time split when you go from like a McCormick project to the stadium on the percentage that's automatically annotated in the vision algorithms versus human curated, human annotated?
It currently takes about 1 hour per week to enter the information that we need to do the automatic processing for the at-risk locations. And there's currently some other back-end work that goes into generating the spreadsheets, but that's all really easy to automate. We've really focused so far on figuring out what workflow will be best with people, nailing that down, and then we can automate that workflow very quickly.
Next questions. Adela.
I just have a question about the capturing of the imagery and the integration into your software. You said drones and pictures. Are you building drones? Are you outsourcing that? Explain that process, please.
Yeah, that's a great question, too. We're definitely not in the drone business. There's a variety of ways that we can capture images. For external projects, drones are often a convenient way to do that. But we can use any kind of image capture method as long as we have good coverage. So it could be handheld cameras of contractors on the site. Indoors, it could be from Kinect systems or laser scans. It could be from drones. It could be from fixed cameras like OxBlue. So any source of images can be used by our system.
One last question, Susan. Go for it.
Your 2018 revenues really spike up. Can you just talk about what marketing is going to go into place to make that happen?
Yeah, our currently we want to limit the number of new projects we're doing just to make sure we do an awesome job with them, because we need to really convince these large companies that our platform will succeed. So it's actually, we've had no trouble finding customers. we really have a backlog of projects that we could do. And so getting to that number by the second year is really just kind of opening the floodgates to start scaling up to apply to these many projects.
Okay, then round of applause. Thank you very much, Derek. Next up, we have Anthony from SmartPlate. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Anthony, CEO at Fitly. Every day you're faced with over 200 food decisions that have a dramatic impact on the state of your health. And maybe you're one of the 100 million Americans that uses a manual calorie counting app to help you with these food choices. But the problem is, these solutions are frustrating, they're time consuming, and worst of all, they're inaccurate. But what if there was a device that could help us figure this all out automatically and within seconds? Meet SmartPlate, your personal nutritionist. SmartPlate is the only intelligent plate that instantly analyzes your entire meal with the highest degree of accuracy. See, we figured out a way to apply face recognition technology to food using computer vision, deep learning, and proprietary image recognition techniques. SmartPlate comes with embedded cameras and weight sensors that identify and weigh everything sitting on its surface, from single foods to prepared meals such as grilled chicken, vegetable fried rice, and even a garden salad. All you have to do is place your food on the plate the way you normally do, and bam, get all your nutrition information in a snap. From there, you can add to your journal or sync with any of your wearable devices. Now I know what you're thinking. That's awesome, but will SmartPlate cook the food for me? Absolutely not. But it is dishwasher and microwave safe. And the LCD at the center displays the nutrition information that's most important and relevant to you. It'll even warn you when you're about to go over on any of your macronutrients. And for your kids, it comes in a fun and intuitive color-coded system. The app also comes with an accompanying Android and iOS app, which will keep track of your weekly journal and send you weekly progress reports in digestible graphs, pun intended. Now, if you're one in the 4% of Americans that eats out more than 4 times per week, don't worry, the app also comes with over 100,000 restaurant meals, and we use geolocation so we know when you've arrived at your favorite place. Just let us know what you're having, and the app will take care of the rest. So, who's ready to be a customer? Because if you're a health-conscious consumer, you need to lose a few extra pounds, or have a dietary condition, then SmartPlate is right for you. In fact, there are 14 million Americans who've purchased a comparable product, and this represents a $2.2 billion opportunity you guys don't want to miss here today. See, we're pioneering a new category in healthcare we like to call culinary medicine. With heart disease, diabetes, and obesity on the rise, the potential to make a huge social impact is too big to put a number on. Speaking of numbers, and in the interest of time, I'll talk really fast about the business. So, since our successful Kickstarter campaign, we've sold thousands of products in 20 countries and generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in pre-order sales in just a few months. We are featured in over 40 major publications in 40 different countries. Business Journal named us Product of the Year 2015. We were even featured in Forbes twice alongside Google. We have agreements in place with Flextronics, Winit Distribution, Arrow Electronics, and we're excited to announce that we're launching with Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, Jet.com, Amazon.com, and we're delivering the first 1,000 units this fall online and for starters. We're also, how do we generate money? We sell monthly app subscription services, and we sell hardware. And on the software side, we generate 50% margins or better. On the hardware side, we generate 70% margins or better. And our team knows how to do this. Prior to this, I started a successful logistics company, which I grew to a 30-person team and sold 18 months later. Dr. Honglak Lee is our lead researcher. He's a renowned expert in machine learning, voted AI's 10 to watch. He's written over 40 major publications, cited over 6,000 times. So with that, vote for SmartPlate. Thank you.
All right, who's first up from the judges for questions for Anthony? The full video presentation.
It seems like, at least in the examples that were provided, that it needed to be individual types of food. What do you do for other kinds of cuisine, casseroles, things of that nature that are much more difficult to identify sort of individual pieces of?
Yeah, so we actually trained single foods and prepared meals and mixed foods. So we identify casseroles, we can identify a lasagna, we can identify vegetable fried rice. We just train those classes as a mixed food. So the example of the garden salad is actually a mixed food, right? There's tomatoes and cucumbers, and once it sees that combination of that food, it'll identify it as a garden salad. Then we go into multi-layer and multi-level identification. So we can then go beyond that and say, does that salad actually have avocado or bacon bits? And then we add that to the right ratio of nutrition.
Mm-hmm. How do you handle liquids, particularly like soda and alcohol? Or have you thought about a smart glass, maybe?
Well, we are SmartPlate, but we do handle. We do have a database with over 300,000 CPG products. So the good thing about what we're doing is a lot of these beverages, even beer, has a barcode on it. So we have over 300,000 CPG products. So if it doesn't have a barcode on it and you can't scan it using our app, like a soda, cola, or beer, then you can just type in the search engine water, whatever you're having, orange juice, and it'll just be in our database. And that's a third-party database. It's very popular. It's there, but food is where we wanted to focus our efforts because that's where most of the calories are coming from.
There are lots of apps out there already, like
Yep.
Rise, that let you take pictures of your food and you don't need a specific piece of hardware to do it. Why is yours better?
So those apps do not use machine learning. They're powered by they're powered by individuals. And the reason you need the hardware is that no one, and I'm sure a lot of the experts in the room would agree that it's really difficult to infer volume density from just an image. So the accuracy that you're getting there is not, they may use that as a logger, but not as a volume weight estimation for nutrition.
But
So,
as a consumer, why like that?
because if you're trying to lose weight, precision is everything, right? So most of us are not morbidly obese. We're overweight in America by 10, 20 pounds. In order to lose that 10, 20 pounds, you need precision. If you're off by 50 to 100 calories a day, it's equivalent to 5 to 10 calories per year.
Right.
So to talk about how it works. So if I put something on the plate and it's not good, what do I get? I get yelled at by the app or what?
Yeah. No, so we will have funny features like that in the future where we'll say kind of funny stickiness, kind of things that will sort of engage the user. But for now, we just nudge you. So the goal is not to shame you, but you tell us. The plate is agnostic. So first of all, you're telling us what you want to achieve, and the plate is just helping you achieve your goals. If you don't have any goals and you're just using the plate, then it's not going to help you much, right? So you need to tell us what you're trying to achieve. We slowly nudge you into making better food choices.
It's purely caloric?
No, it's actually more focused on macronutrients, which is your right combination of proteins, saturated fats, and carbs. And we think calories, there's a new trend. People are waking up that not all calories are created equal, and so that's a thing of the past, and it's really hard to manage your macros in percentages, which is the right way to do it. So
One last question by anybody? Yes.
Yeah. How much is this going to cost?
So we have two versions. In the video you saw SmartPlate Cam, that's going to retail for $149, and then we have SmartPlate Top View, which doesn't come with the embedded cameras or the LCD. You just take a picture from the top, and we use edge detection to identify all three parts from one image, and that's going to retail for $99. It's a race to the bottom, and our COGS are really healthy. So, for example, I won't share the margins at this point, but they're very healthy, and we can get to the bottom very quickly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Next up, we have Anton from GeoCV. Come on up, Anton. We're waiting 1 second for some batteries. We love technology. As we deal with the future, we have to deal with the present.
Hi everyone, I'm Anton, a co-founder and CEO of GeoCV. GeoCV is a mobile app for 3D capture in reality. And last fall, we have been selected from 600 applications to Rosenthal Ventures River, the first acceleration program for the fastest growing virtual reality and frontier tech companies. The program was in San Francisco, so I need to move there for a whole 3 months. And I spent days trying to choose my new home on Airbnb, trying to understand how it really looks and feels like based on just a few photos. It would be much better if it could virtually teleport to the space and view it from any angle. And GeoCV lets everyone capture spaces in 3D using just a smartphone. It becomes possible only now because new generation of smartphones and tablets starting to have 3D cameras inside, like Google Project Tango. We don't develop such hardware, we develop software for these new generation devices. With our mobile app, you can scan an apartment like this in 15 minutes. Data is transferred to the cloud, where our advanced computer vision algorithms automatically compute a high-quality 3D model. You can put it on the website or share in immersive virtual reality. And even you can measure and create a 2D floor plan from this 3D scan. After talking to hundreds of potential customers in various industries, we decided to start with real estate, where we found a unique business model. We learned that most real estate agents prefer a service rather than do-it-yourself product. So they can order service from us, and it will be provided by our network of independent photographers. Each photographer is provided with a mobile device with a 3D camera for free, and he goes and scans the property. The same day, real estate agents get a whole package of a 3D virtual tour, a 2D floor plan extracted from a 3D scan, and professional photos. And the best part, he gets all of this starting from $99. At the same time, we have 70% of this as a margin, and we believe that such a convenient and affordable service could eventually become a standard of how 8 million of homes are marketed in real estate. There are a few competitors. Matterport, our closest one, has raised $56 million. We differentiate ourselves by using consumer off-the-shelf mobile devices with 3D cameras, not a professional $5,000 3D scanner. And imagine that you can view the space from any viewpoint in photorealistic quality. It becomes possible because of our unique view-dependent image-based rendering technique. Basically, 2 of our competitors have made us M&A offers because of our best-in-the-market technology and the team. Our founding team has been working in 3D computer vision industry for more than 10 years. We started with R&D project with Samsung and then founded 3 companies. One was profitable, another was acquired, and third one was a good learning experience for us. 5 out of 10 our team members are PhDs. Real estate is a huge market opportunity, but it's only the beginning. I foresee that soon you will have a 3D scanner in your augmented reality headset, and you will get used to viewing more and more content in 3D in virtual and augmented reality. Our vision is to become the #1 solution provider for everyone to capture reality in 3D. So come talk to me to learn how you can join this vision. Thank you.
All right. Questions? Steve?
Thanks for that. So we're investors in Floored, so I know the space pretty well. I guess one question I have for you is that if you're making it so easy to be captured by any device, then why does it require service providers?
I believe that for some different industries rather than real estate, it's a definite opportunity, and we have such an option as our offering. But we learned that for particular real estate agents still prefer a service. Like an example, you can buy a DSLR camera by yourself, and it's really not that hard to take really good real estate pictures, but they still offer service from professional photographers.
Thank you.
What other markets do you see for this besides real estate?
So we've selected real estate as our beachhead market, and we see further opportunities in construction, property insurance, moving, and professional interior design. These industries do not depend on how fast these devices would come to the market, and they also don't depend on how fast virtual reality would take off. But as soon as you have a 3D scanner in your pocket and you get used to virtual reality, then even better opportunities appear.
We're investors in Matterport, so full disclosure on that. But it's more of a comment than a question, which is given that you're a team of smart PhDs and you're going after a very fragmented market where there's a lot of effort required still to educate those real estate brokers about the value of something like this, I think that's something you guys should think about. So would love to hear any thoughts on whatever money you raise, how does that go in expanding the skill set of the team collectively and building more domain expertise?
Yeah, sure. So you're totally right. We're raising currently our new round to accelerate the go-to-market strategy, in particular to build our business team. But we found that, in particular in real estate, there is a lot of networking effects like referrals, so we can leverage on that to start penetration faster.
Anybody else have questions? Okay, Anton, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Peter. No, we have James from Simile. James, come on up.
Is it just the right arrow? Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me, and I'm so excited to tell you about Simile and our software for virtual human presence. So, the age of spatial computing is finally here. I see it everywhere. So the age of spatial computing is finally here. I see it everywhere. In examples like these, science fiction and emerging technology are becoming indistinguishable. And what this means is that the next generation of the world's operating systems are going to come off of the screens, excuse me, and take place in the world around us. But there's something missing. There's a problem. Currently, there's no way to represent three-dimensional images of people. Currently, there's no way to represent truly three-dimensional images of people in a spatial computing setting. So right now, when I go into virtual reality, I have to leave all of my friends behind. So why does this matter? Well, I bet each one of you has a person in your life who lives far away that you wish you could spend more time with. My dad, Archie, he's 67, and he lives in Idaho. I don't get to see him very often. But at Simile, we're creating a technology that allows my dad and I to sit together, face to face, side by side, no matter the distance. Simile offers the possibility to stream true three-dimensional models of people into virtual space so we can be together no matter the distance. And it's the promise of genuine human interaction like this that is the reason why the virtual reality market is predicted to be so huge, $120 billion by the year 2025. But without Simile, we won't even get there. So for the last 4 years, my co-founder Alexander and I have been working together as an engineer, photographer duo, running a design studio, applying computational photography to the film and advertising industry. And we founded Simile this year because something major is about to happen. Depth sensing technology will soon be in every mobile device. And so with our software, we will take advantage of this new hardware to enable everyone to create videos like this, where they can take the people around them and import them into virtual space like this 3D train car. And the heart of our invention is a multi-perspective fusion algorithm, a very advanced system that allows the reconstruction of 360-degree humans from just 4 perspectives. And it already plays everywhere across mobile and the web on any headset. So 2 months ago, we released a closed beta, and the applications have been pouring in. We've had over 500 applicants with no marketing, including Fortune 100 companies. And what's most surprising is that it's not just huge companies who are coming after us. Consumers, individuals from all over the world are lining up to get Simile software. So we've been giving a few of them the software, and they're already releasing amazing projects like this one by Google, the Google Data Arts team, which depicts the body of an artist using Simile, using the tilt brush application, is made available online through WebGL. And every time one of these new projects comes out, it sends a wave of people back to our site through word of mouth. For instance, this is another Simile beta user, Eminem, the rapper. And so, unlike our competition, who all use these extremely expensive, massive studio setups, Simile has prioritized speed and mobility, and that's what differentiates us. So we have a very straightforward monetization plan. We're going to license our software and offer cloud services. And right now, we're building a team to prepare for the upcoming mobile ecosystem and be perfectly positioned to be ready to take advantage of this opportunity. So if you believe in creating the future of virtual human presence, come find me. Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to start with Ryan?
So is this a research project, or is there real customers and real applications today?
Yeah, like I said, Google's using it, BBC's using it. They're there. We have real customers. It's a product.
You showed the graph of fidelity versus processing time. What enables you guys to do so much better than everyone else in terms of being real time, but also high fidelity?
Yeah. So currently, the current product is a product focused on content creation for people making AR and VR. That's our immediate first step towards this long-term stream. And we have a unique ability to calibrate external high-resolution cameras like a RED or an ARRI to low-resolution depth sensors. And our algorithms provide extra quality based on that sensor fusion. And that's how we differentiated ourselves.
What's your biggest challenge moving from desktop to mobile?
A lot of it is when the devices come out and getting working with our team to build the algorithms to capture on that area. I think the biggest challenge is really creating fluid user experiences so that our customers can understand this technology and start making awesome content right away without having to deal with the technical challenges of 3D scanning and dealing with those technical challenges and really making it easy for the user.
Who's next? Anybody else? Questions? We're all set. Thank you very much, James.
Thank you for the questions.
Okay, next up is Peter from Shelfie. Take it away, Peter.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Peter, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Shelfie. Shelfie is a free mobile app where you take a picture of your bookshelf. That's a Shelfie. And we have developed and patented the computer vision that can recognize about 46 million book spines. So in a couple of photographs, we can get a full inventory of your shelf. Now, this allows us to solve two huge problems in the publishing world. The first is format shifting. Today, if you buy a book, you buy the paper. If you want to listen to the audiobook in the car or fit the Kindle edition into your carry-on luggage, you have to rebuy the content at full price. You don't have to do this with a CD. If you buy music on a CD, you can rip it. If you buy a movie on a DVD, you get the download code to stream it. So this remains a massive problem. So what we did is we went out and partnered with over 1,400 publishers, including 3 of the big 5, Macmillan, HarperCollins, and Hachette, to allow you to download the ebook or the audiobook editions of whatever is in your paper library. With 400,000 titles in our catalog, this is about 25% of all the books that are typically found on an average shelf. Now, the second problem is that content discovery is broken. I can sum it up in 6 words. People who bought this also bought. That is Amazon's algorithm for finding books. And it hasn't changed in nearly 20 years. Last year's consumers spent $104 billion on books. Nearly half of that transacted online. And we clearly can do better in terms of content discovery. And when you look at content discovery, it really boils down to a question of human curation versus algorithmic curation. Humans perform better, algorithms scale. And when we look at how this is being solved in other industries like music, you have examples like Pandora, and I know someone down here said that Pandora was one of their portfolio companies. This was the Music Genome Project, where we went and looked at songs and we extracted 150 or 400 different elements of that song. And so if I liked 120 beats per minute rock songs with a male vocalist, Pandora can give me 1,000 other songs just like that. The other model was Songza, which was DJ curation. You could say, I want music for a Friday night, putting on my party dress. It'll give me a DJ curated list of about 80 tracks. The problem with that is that neither one of those are achieving the perfect solution, which is the holy grail is human curation at scale, which is what iTunes Genius and Spotify Discover were able to do with playlists. Now, they know that I like Nickelback, and they know that I like Dave Brubeck, but they also know that I never put them on the same playlist, and that they'll put my Green Day with my Nickelback and my John Coltrane with my Dave Brubeck. And this is human curation of music at scale. So we needed to find an equivalent for this in the books world. And what we found is that readers curate their physical spaces. And whether you're into conservative talk radio, entrepreneurship, military history, or functional programming, we tend to organize our books. And where Amazon has people who bought this also bought, we have readers who have read this book put it on a shelf beside. And by using the physical index distance of how far apart books are, we can surface better books and drive better recommendations. Back. In terms of traction, we launched about 10 months ago. We have 50,000 users. We have indexed over 130,000 bookshelves and have ID'd more than 2.5 million books. And as you can see, people tend to put their Hunger Games books on shelves near their Harry Potter books. In terms of the team, myself, serial entrepreneur, co-founded my first company after doing an undergrad in engineering physics. That company, we grew for 9 years to over 100 people and profitable before I had an exit to join or to start Shelfie. My co-founder, Marius, did a PhD in computer vision under David Lowe, and he's the inventor of FLAN, which is part of OpenCV. So for most of the people in the audience, I seldom get to say that, but for people in this audience, you will know what OpenCV and FLAN are. Mary Alice Elcock heads up our content acquisition. She has a master's in publishing and was previously at Douglas & McIntyre. Sancho also has a PhD under David Lowe and invented local naive Bay's nearest neighbors. We are looking for partners who understand content, vision, and discovery. And if that sounds interesting, please come and talk to me afterwards.
All right, thank you. Jessi, aren't your books in your office color coordinated? Can you give a mic? Is there a question? You must be related to the color coordination, right?
Unrelated to my question, mine are color coordinated, so they'd really throw you. But if we take as a belief that long term all books will go digital, don't you run the risk of putting yourself out of business over time?
So there are a couple of interesting things there. The first is that when we first got into this industry, we actually thought that that was going to happen. And what we've seen is it's not. That ebooks plateau at about 20% of revenue and at about 25% of units. And we see this happen in all the mature markets. It happened first in Japan, it's happened in the United States, it's happening now in the UK, and we can see the rapid growth in Germany right now, and then it's going to plateau there. So it appears as though paper books are here to stay, at least for the 20-year horizon. What is interesting is that audio is growing now very quickly, but it appears as though that'll just be another tier. But what's interesting is that from a book perspective, we keep books for reasons other than content. If you organize your books by color, I'm assuming you've read most of the books that are on your shelves. And if you've read them, why do you keep them?
Because that's not fair. I'm a writer by profession.
Fair enough. Yeah. And if you organize by color, you're probably a little CDO.
Somebody else can take it.
I think I missed the part on how you're going to make money and what your business model is.
Right. So out of the $104 billion that is spent every year by consumers, about 7% of that is what the value of discovery is. So there's a massive amount of value there in terms of driving recommendations. In terms of how we immediately make money, we're in the process of licensing to the likes of Kobo, Apple, Google, Nook, Walmart, Target, and those sorts of folks. So to power their recommendation engines.
What's the user mechanism that gets someone coming back time and time again to continue using it?
So how does the stickiness work within the app? So there are a couple of things that drive stickiness. The first is content. So you consume the content within the app. Of course, you can download it to your Kindle if you want to. And that people who read tend to read often. And by having people come back to the app often to get the bundled content, because 96% of us are hybrid readers, we switch between formats. So having that stickiness within the app sort of is inherent.
How do you verify that I own a book? So, for example, like I go to my friends. Like last night, I was actually at a friend's house, and I was looking at his bookshelf, and he had some great ones that I don't own. What's stopping me from just taking a picture of his bookshelf and then being able to access some of the content in other formats?
You're sneaky.
Sneaky. There's always someone. So there are a couple of things there. The first is that your phone has a GPS and your credit card has a billing address. So we can combine those two things. The other is that for certain publishers who are a little bit paranoid about those sorts of things, what we've innovated is serialization of the product at consumer time, which is a very fancy way of saying you write your initials or your name onto the copyright page of your book and submit a photo, and that's the proof of ownership that the publisher requires.
Can you clarify, why do I want this?
You might not. If you may actually physically not want this.
Why would one want
Why does
this?
one want this?
Right.
What we have found, or well, I should say what the publishing industry and the readers have found, about 4% of readers went ebook only. So they got rid of paper. They're like, I never wanted to own books. And what we found is the other 96% of people who read regularly, which is about 60 million Americans, they alternate between formats. So if you have a copy of The Goldfinch, which is 800 pages, and you don't want to take it on the subway, or you're going to read it by listening to it in your car, it's a way to continue that narrative that you don't want to put down. That book that you really want to keep reading, it allows you to transition different activities and continue consuming that content.
Anybody have one more question? All set? Yes, Josh. Can you pass the mic back? Thanks.
So I think the one challenge with a lot of the curation around books is book purchasing isn't as frequent as like music listening. Like, have you thought about whether there are other types of curation you'd want to do as well that might have more frequent use cases, or do you really want to start with books?
We want to start with books. We do want to start with books, but the nice thing about books is books are about things. Is that if you have books on your shelf that are about, say you have the Lean Startup and 0 to 1, I can probably tell that you're into entrepreneurship or investing. Or if you have, where's Brian's book? Everything an angel investor wants, or yes. And actually, we just signed McGraw-Hill. Your book is actually available on Shelfie. Oh, great. Now you know. So why would you want this? Why would we do this? Is because what's interesting when you look at big platforms like Facebook, Facebook knows who your friends are and what you like. LinkedIn knows where you worked and who you worked with. We know everything you've read, which is interesting in and of itself.
Okay, thank you very much. So as you noticed, a couple of things we try to make the balance for speakers, gender balance as close as possible. We got 60-40, and try to make it as international as possible. And Shai from Faception is from Israel. We had a bunch of speakers from elsewhere in Europe. And take it away, Shai.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Shai Gilboa, co-founder and CEO of Faception from Israel. We have successfully addressed a challenge that is as old as humanity, knowing the personality of individuals. The reason I'm here is that we did it using computer vision and machine learning technologies. Our vision is to make computers understand humans through a single piece of personal information, an image of a face. According to social and life science research, our personality is determined by our DNA and reflected in our face. In order to lead this new domain, we gathered a very seasoned team with great personalities. I have built 6 companies and had 2 exits. My co-partner, Itzik Wilf, has more than 30 years experience in computer vision, machine learning, and face image analysis. Professor Michai Kozinski from Stanford is a leading researcher in this domain involving psychology and organization behavior. Together, we have more than 100 years experience in this domain. Using this technology, all of a sudden, we know so much more about the person we just saw. So, let's have some few use cases, and let's start with saving lives. On November 13, 2015, Paris was attacked. Only 3 of the 11 terrorists had a previous record, which meant they could be recognized. The others were anonymous. But Faception successfully classified 9 of them as potential terrorists without any prior information than the facial images. We did it using a terrorist classifier developed a year before the attack. For this kind of capabilities, we were awarded the contract by a leading Homeland Security agency. Our primary focus is Homeland Security and public safety. Our technology is applicable to many other verticals, such as fintech, HR, personalized marketing, intelligence machines, and so on. To date, we developed more than 15 different classifiers and test them successfully, including professional poker player classifiers that you see in action. And by the way, we were able to predict 2 of the top 3 finalists in a poker tournament held last month at 500 startups in San Francisco. Since this seemed to be a very heuristic technology, the guys at 500 startups asked us to make an acceptance test. So we did it using the same developed professional poker player classifier, and these are the results, 93 success rate. So we joined this program. So how it's been done? We collect images from online and offline databases or from cameras, encoded them using proprietary descriptor, and then we run a multi-layer personality prediction against set of developed classifiers, and by the end we get a personality profile. Our business model is simple. It's a SaaS-based and per use using SDK or API. There's not much competition yet. We are currently the only companies that are using machine learning in this domain. So this is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Come join me afterwards if you like to have a personal demonstration. If you're not scared.
Okay, Shai. Questions from the judges? Josh, you got a mic?
Yes, I do.
Good.
So, look, I think the technology and I think is great and creepy and great. Who is really going to pay for it? Or like, what are you really going to drive for a business here knowing that you can do this information?
So we choose to be in the Homeland Security and public safety. So the real issue today is to detect the unknown threat. So we have been before we start to work in this technology in the performance market. It was very easy, but we don't believe in this market too much because a lot of competition. So the best market to use this technology, which is in the early stage today, is in this domain of Homeland Security and public safety. We are currently in process with 5 different agencies, government agencies, and next phase, you can know it. Who knows? Yes.
Adele and then Brian.
Just a quick question on the causation of the facial recognition relative to personality being determinative of a certain kind of behavior. Can you talk me through that a little bit?
Okay, again, it's not facial recognition, okay? It's a facial structure. What we do is we train our system specifically per trait. It can be, people that are with high IQ, or can be other examples like kind of crimist or, even a matter of reliability. The only issue here is to train on the right process. And if we reach a high success rate in blind tests, then we have a developed classifier. So I guess your question is much more related to why can we have it. So the basics here is that, face are biometrics. DNA is biometrics. We find the way to find the signals in the face that related to both of these.
Based on the deployments you have till date, what's the percentage of false positives that have been issued by you?
Okay, this is a great question. Of course, thank you for having it. Well, we have false positive, of course. And even with the terrorists, we can book about 15% of the Paris population, of course. So there is a known method how to reach high accuracy. You can play with threshold, and you can have another classifiers, of course. So it's a kind of filter.
It seems easy to game the system. To game,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I could smile all the time. I could tape my eyelids up or something. I don't know, but I could make myself not look like I'm bad, right?
That'll be.
No, this is expression. We are not in expression.
So are we born bad?
Yeah.
That's
basically
a different conversation. Come on.
Basically,
Yeah.
yes.
Are we born?
You don't born a terrorist, of course, but you born with your set of skills, and we find the potential with high accuracy on your which skills do you have. So, for example,
You could tell my skills by my facial structure. Then you're saying.
I guess so.
What is that relationship? I don't get that. That's bizarre.
I agree, it's bizarre,
Okay.
but this is about new things.
Okay, so they're good for conversations after. Last question. Do you have one
One
more?
more.
No,
Yeah,
we're all set. Real quick.
Yeah. So having multiple photos of the face increase the predictability?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Shai. Everybody's still pondering there. We like to mix it up here. Next is Rosanna from Carbon Robotics. Take it away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we on? Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Rosanna, co-founder of Carbon Robotics. We were recently named one of the top 50 robotics companies in the world for achieving something that a year ago we were told couldn't be done. Human development has been punctuated by key inventions that shaped the course of history. From the first mechanical computer to the tools of the Industrial Revolution to today, where in our lifetimes we've seen the computer and the internet connect the world and catapult humanity forward. Robotics is our next frontier, and its linchpin is the robotic arm. A robotic arm can do anything a human arm can do, often better. They're essential in manufacturing and can even be found, there we go, performing surgery and exploring space. Anything a human arm can do, a robotic arm can probably do better. But the problem is that they are expensive, they are dangerous, and they're an absolute nightmare to use. And that's where we come in. We've created Cassia, our kick-ass, trainable, intelligent arm that solves all three problems. So today, the cheapest industrial arm is $20. They go well over $100,000, and usually 3 times that to make them move. Cassia has the capabilities of an industrial arm, but the price of a computer. That is 10 times cheaper. Now, when we started, we were told that this wasn't possible, and we've proved the experts wrong in 3 major ways. The first is that our drive electronics and control software gets 6 times the precision of an industrial servo at 1/50th of the cost. This is a big deal. The second, we've invented a brand new sensor that can detect a person up to 20 inches away in any direction from anywhere on the arm. And we build that right into the housing so Cassia knows exactly where you are at all times. And third, we drive all of this on one of the most advanced chips ever made. So our computer vision and machine learning algorithms live directly on the device. But the real magic is in our software that makes it so that anyone can train an arm. So the easiest way to get started is you physically guide the arm through a routine that it plays back perfectly. You can also use your phone and your tablet to train a device, and then we use a lot of CV to automate common tasks. So you don't need any special skills to get started. We live in a world where only 10% of manufacturing is automated. The other 90% is human labor, often in conditions like this, where none of us would want to work. Now, according to SRI, a sub $5,000 arm is the missing link. It's the tipping point where massive adoption becomes inevitable. But price is just one part. People have been trying to hit this target for almost 10 years, and even if they get there, they still have software that no one can use. Now, other companies try and build a software layer on top of existing hardware, and they struggle to get traction in the market. The key is that you need both affordable hardware and intelligent software. That's how we get traction, that's how we make money, that's how we update this industry. So we're a team of mechatronics grads and computer engineers. We have spent 6 of the last 18 months essentially living on factory floors in China. And this year we were named to the RBR Top 50 along with Google, DJI, and Amazon. But what we're most excited by is that we've already signed up over 1,000 developers and partners who want to do everything from light industrial tasks to assistive devices to really cool VR, AR stuff. It's proof. It's inspiring, and it is proof that when you give people incredible tools, they can do incredible things. That's the power of democratization. Apple did it for personal computers and then again for mobile phones. MakerBot did it for 3D printing. And at Carbon, we're doing it for robots. Thank you.
All right. Judges, who wants to start? Who's going first? They're thinking, they're writing, they're taking notes. Go ahead.
I don't think you mentioned anything about the business model.
Yeah, so we make money from both hardware and software. We make money from the hardware sales and then a subscription fee on top of that for accessing the software.
The robotic arm is a very, very busy space, right? And there are companies of all shapes and sizes, vertical specific, horizontal companies that are trying to do this. You're going after the long tail at some level by saying that you don't have to be a large factory to use our product, but could be a small business which is doing a small task that they want to automate. Mm-hmm. So how do you turn yourself from a robotics company trying to nail that experience to becoming this broader platform play which can be used by anybody and everybody?
So the first thing that we're doing is we're targeting the gap between what people know and what they don't know. So anyone who has a task that they need to automate, they know that task really, really well. What they don't know is how to robusticize it. That's where the friction comes in. That's why right now, if you need to roboticize a task, you'll hire an integrator. It usually costs 3 times the cost of the arm itself to program. And then every time your task changes, you need to call them back in to set it up again. This is it's hundreds of thousands of dollars in weeks. And that's why that other 90% isn't automated. But when you can construct it and essentially solve their problem in the form of an app, right? You have the tool. You download the application that you need that solves the problem. We're using things like computer vision and machine learning to correct for any kind of variation, because that's another big problem in robotics. But we're taking away that friction of having to know how a robot works. All you have to know is how your task works. And then from there, in answer to your platform question, and then from there, we're exposing on the back end all of the APIs and everything that we've learned to developers, because we're going after our initial applications, but there are so many more that we won't necessarily know.
Yeah, my bigger question was that, one is the playbook of the traditional platform playbook, and the other is of a Shopify playbook, which is to say that I'm going to small bakery shops, etc., and telling them how to use this, as opposed to giving it to developers sitting in Stanford who are just tinkering with it, trying to do something. Those are 2 different kind of companies.
Right, so we're targeting the people who've been pulling it out of our hands initially so that we can solve the problem well. And I would describe our platform players as planting seeds right now. We have a lot of people in biomedical research, assistive devices, who don't need too much from us in terms of engineering, but can get devices and get started, and then we can start building those partnerships. And the other thing I will say about robotic arms, though, is that while the applications look very different, what's happening behind the scenes is actually quite standardized. You want to move from one place to another. What's changing is, what you put on the end of it. And so it's something that mentally seems like worlds apart, but it's actually quite similar.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, in the back. Go ahead, Taylor.
Why are the cost economics so different?
Can you use the mic and repeat it for the whole audience? And then the next mic for David.
Why are the cost economics so different from existing?
Yeah, so at a high level, what we've done is we've essentially replaced expensive mechanical components with software and sensors that behaves in that same way. So right now, a robotic arm is expensive because all of the stuff that goes into it is expensive. And that's because it gets its precision from mechanical ground gears, it gets rigidity from harder materials. And what we do is we work at the electronics and we work with the software to essentially use like field-oriented control to get really, really good precision from commodity components. And so in the case of our MOSES, these are components that cost $40, $50, but they perform like MOSES that cost thousands of dollars.
Are you seeing any opportunity on the consumable side from a revenue stream standpoint? Different fittings, different grinding elements, things like that.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The consumables revenue stream. Is there a consumables revenue stream associated with this?
Yeah, so so a lot of our work actually is in making the attachments very modular. So right now, robots is a problem, and then the attachments is a problem, and so we make it so it's very easy to snap them on and off. And part of what we're doing in the pilot program, which is our next step, is starting to work with partners who are going to be in that ecosystem to build custom attachments. So we don't want to be in the business of building 50 different SKUs off the bat. We want to start with the arm and one or two things that we do really well. But what we can do is get those early designs to people so that they can start designing. And then on top of that, we're also open sourcing our designs. The intelligence is really below the wrist, but everything above the wrist is fair game, and that's important for innovation.
Okay, Rosanna, thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, and we're hiring, so come see us.
Okay. Competitors, thank you. Judges, thank you for your great questions, and look forward to seeing the results to figure out who's the winner.